When you have any type of podcast like this, people tend to offer unsolicited business advice. The universe isn't just out there, it's interacting with you. Claim your power by embracing the unknown. This is Tracy with Tracy Talks, and I'm here to ignite your curiosity. Don't just listen, embrace it. It's kind of interesting the type of responses that I get when people hear I am putting out a podcast. It's a range of responses from curiosity to interest to people being amazed that somebody would actually put themselves out there in such a public way. There are times when I don't have the energy to deal with or sift through people's own opinions and emotions about this. And there are a lot of times where people will ask what I do and I just make up something because I know myself well enough to know that I don't want to get into a debate. I don't want to get into a place where I have to explain and justify and bring people up to speed on why I choose to do this. And then there are other times where I'm completely just being an ass and I will say things because I am more than ready to debate somebody about why I'm making my own life choices. And first thing is I want to say to these people is, you know what? I'm not judging you. I am not openly questioning you and why you're making the decisions that you are. So I don't understand why people feel that it is acceptable to ask me, why are you doing that? Don't you feel weird about talking in public and where people hear you? I mean, because honestly, I can ask the same questions of you. Why is it that you aren't brave with your life? Why is it that you feel like you can't try something new, that you can't put yourself out there creatively, that you just are stuck in this old version of yourself that you refuse to change? I mean, I can turn those questions around on you so easily, but I don't. Do you think that I look at you as someone who's had this one job their whole life as being brave? And I don't, because it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of personal belief to change up how you show up in the world. Getting a new job takes a lot of courage. Learning a new skill takes enormous amounts of courage. And so just because you have stayed in the same industry, you've done the same job, you have been very predictable and reliable, isn't perceived as a good thing by a lot of people out there. But yet, you probably don't get those same type of questions. And so I find it very interesting, especially with people who haven't been brave with their professional choices, try to offer me advice when a lot of what I do isn't planned out and predicted. I don't have an office manager. I don't have a production manager who is giving me a list of things to do each day. I don't have an already defined business plan that I am operating from. Like a lot of people who show up at their job and they sit at their desk and they do what somebody else has told them to do. And I think it's very important for anybody in a creative industry who is trying to tap into some undefined power and emotion deep in them, and how important it is to keep people away that have only lived in this traditional left brain mentality. How important it is for creatives to keep the narrative away, and how easily somebody commenting and criticizing any part of the creative process can really shut down that creativity. And I have been working with my editor, and we met up last week, and I had said I had a really great week where the words were flowing, the concepts were coming out of me, and I could easily write what I was feeling. And then it shut down. And she had encouraged me at that point to continue to push through, that there was something in me that at some deep level I wasn't wanting to say, either to one individual or several individuals, and that I needed to keep going into the well to figure out what was blocking me, and just to continue to write it out, that probably there's something there that I really want to say to somebody in my life, but I don't feel like I should. There is also this kind of desire in me to get some feedback with the writing that I'm already doing. And while there's a strong urge in me, she again also encouraged me not to do that, because this creative process that I am really trying to operate in this consistent way, I want to keep the momentum flowing. And any type of feedback that makes me question what I'm saying or how I'm saying it, for me, it is such a new part of the process that she really felt like that could shut me down as well, is receiving any type of feedback that made me doubt what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. There have been times where I've really struggled to embrace this creative path because nobody in my family has ever walked this path. Everybody has done this very traditional, I've got to go to work, I've got to work for somebody else, I've got to just sit at my desk and be dedicated, be a valuable employee, and screw all of this creativity that's in me. And I have a lot of people around me that don't understand why I'm making the choices that I'm making. And so I'm offering anybody encouragement, support out there that could be listening to keep going, to believe in your creativity, to believe in this path that there is no trail out there that we're already walking on. And especially now with everything changing quickly, you don't have to do everything like somebody else did it. You don't have to follow your family members. You don't have to follow your friends. That you can really follow your own beat of your own heart. And if you don't have the support around you, that it's okay to tell people, I have to choose. I can't maintain this friendship, this relationship, because it's impacting how I feel about myself, how I feel about my work, how I feel about my creativity, and find people that support you and encourage you. And if you have to walk alone for a period of time, you have to walk alone. There are times where my creative downloads need alone time. They don't happen when I'm constantly in motion, when I'm constantly listening to something or watching something or participating in something. The creative downloads come in the quiet moments. And so many of us are afraid of those quiet moments. We're afraid of not being able to scroll on our phones. We're afraid of not having something to distract us. And sometimes that little girl energy in me that was told, you can't do this, she shows up and she wants a voice. And you know what? Today she wants to say, you know what? I can do that. I can do whatever I want. I can make the choices that I want to make. I can spend my time today doing whatever I want. And it really doesn't matter what you think about me, what you think about my choices, what you think about my life. It really doesn't matter. I am trying to spend my days being brave. By saying the thing, by doing the thing, by being the person that I really want to be. That freedom alone terrifies a lot of people because they've never given themselves the permission to truly be free. And I still struggle with it because there's days where I feel like I need to go back to this traditional path. I need to go back and get this traditional job. And then I remember how I feel when I have the job. I feel confined. I feel trapped. I feel unmotivated. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I really don't like doing that. And there are days where I still have to remind myself that even though the freedom that I have is uncertain, I don't know what tomorrow necessarily is going to look like. But even with that uncertainty, it feels so much better. That freedom feels so much better than being trapped in a situation that I don't love, just for the money. And today I'm going to be turning up the volume of my heart and turning down the volume of everyone else who thinks they know what choices I should be making with my life. Thank you for listening to this episode of Tracy Talks. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe, and share with others who would enjoy listening to this podcast. Friends can find Tracy Talks available on iTunes, Spotify, Substack, and YouTube. Hit me up on Instagram and Facebook at More Tracy Talks. And until next time, we meet again.